Hello everyone, this is your friend Shinobi Nexus 2.0 and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is when Tsunade and the Kunoichi travel back to save Naruto. Part 1, and if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start a fanfic. Naruto sat in bed recovering from his massive fight with Madara Uchiha and a more pleasant encounter he had only 10 minutes or so ago. Naruto was once again covered in bandages and recovering in the hospital. Both arms were broken and he had been massively injured. He had used his Rasen Shuriken twice to actually kill Madara Uchiha. This broke both his arms and nearly poisoned him because of the damage done to him when he used that particular jutsu. Given all this, Naruto was in an incredibly good mood. Shizune had just left after acquiring a sperm specimen the easy way, condom, and riding the blonde to completion. The second riding had ended about 10 minutes ago, that one without a condom. Naruto smiled at the memory. She had said it was for Tsunade to continue the Senju clan with her as the surrogate mother. He would be a father yet again as Shion was expecting their first child. The request from Shizune and Tsunade was confusing as he thought of Tsunade as a grandmotherly type but could not understand why she would want to also have children with him, with Shizune acting as birthing mother. Naruto had enjoyed the love-making sessions with Shizune, one of several over this last week. Apparently either she was enjoying it too much or she wanted to become a mother of his children also. Naruto was not as dumb as most though he was. He had noticed that several females in the village appeared to be pursuing him. Hinata, Isaribi, Yakumo and several civilian females his age kept on following him and hinted at possible dates with the blonde Jinchuriki. He had decided not to act like Sasuke by running and spurning the attention of the females that seemed to want his attention. Heck, he wanted the attention, and if he could get it without going to extremes, he was all for that. He did try not to be a man who was just going to use women to satisfy his own carnal desires, seeing as that was the path that Jiraiya had went. No, Naruto wanted to have a relationship with the women in his life. His relationship with a certain pink-haired teammate had changed to more of a sisterly relationship over the last few years, if still a little abusive. Sakura then entered the room with a gentle smile. "Hey Naruto, you look chipper today. But it smells kind of stuffy in here. Let's open a window," Sakura stated as she moved over to the window and then opened the window. "Now isn't that much better? How are you healing from your fight?" Naruto sheepishly looked at Sakura. Shizune was just here and said, "I healing just fine." She said I would be ready to leave in a couple weeks, but definitely no more Rasen Shuriken, Naruto exclaimed as he blushed profusely. "Okay. That is nice Naruto, but you still need some rest and I have something here for you," Sakura said as she pushed a needle into Naruto's arm. Naruto looked up to protest but was already getting sleepy. "It's time for you to see our old teammate. He has a surprise for you," Sakura whispered under her breath. Tsunade shook her head as she was dealing with 3 females in front of her: Hinata Hyuga, Kunoichi and heir to the Hyuga clan, Isaribi, former experiment for Orochimaru, dear friend of Naruto, and finally Yakumo Kurama, heir to a family of genjutsu specialists. All 3 were pestering Tsunade to let them all marry Naruto or at the very least date him. "Look girls, I don't want to do this, but I have to keep Naruto-kun from you," Tsunade protested. "But Hokage-sama, Naruto is the best for each of us," Isaribi stated. "Naruto-kun is loved by Hinata-sama, Yakumo-sama and by me. We all love him for who he is. He has saved each of us at one point or another. Our feelings are not because he has become a powerful shinobi or because he is to become Hokage. We all love him in our own way, but the council had enacted a law that would never allow him to marry. This was done before I returned to become the Hokage. There is no way I can change it. If we could go back in time, we might be able to change it. Heck, as time has passed, I hate to admit it, but I would love to marry the knucklehead too," Tsunade replied with a blush. Their conversation was interrupted by several screams outside of Tsunade's window. Up on the top of the Hokage's tower, Sakura held Naruto by the neck over the edge of the tower rail as another figure appeared next to her holding a young blonde-haired woman. "Sakura, wake him," the figure behind her demanded. Sakura pulled out a syringe and pushed into Naruto's arm. Naruto slowly opened his eyes. "What is the meaning of this, Sakura?" Naruto growled out as he figured he was not in his hospital room with the wind was blowing up his hospital gown and Sakura having her hand around his neck. "Well, you succeeded in your promise of bringing him back, but too bad your affection was wasted on me. I never loved you. I care about you, but I still love Sasuke. So I am apologizing now for what we are going to do. Just understand it is for the best. Sasuke-kun says he will finish what the Yondaime began 19 years ago. He also says he is going to marry me. I am truly sorry, Naruto, I really am, but this has to be," Sakura said as she wanted Naruto to understand. "So you never loved me, not even a little?" Naruto asked with a tear fell from his eye and Sakura shook her head. A scream was heard from below. "So you are going to kill the monster? Right, Teme?" Naruto yelled as he was unable to move his arms, which were still bandaged and mostly useless. "So Teme, you think they will see you a savior? What did you do for them? I know you suffered, but it was not to the same level as mine was." Naruto suddenly noticed whom Sasuke was holding and terror struck his heart. "What are you doing with Shien-chan? What do you know of suffering, Naruto? My family was killed on orders from this village." Sasuke protested as he underscored his rage. "What do I know? Shall we move backwards? My teammates abandoned me, you first and now Sakura. Kakashi barely trained me, but showed favoritism towards you. You got everything I wanted. You were never shunned by most of the village, nor were you given tests at the academy that were either meant for Chunin or had genjutsu put on them. Did you have to teach yourself to read and write? No, you had parents to help teach you that. I have been overcharged by most of shops in the village. Heck, most wouldn't even let me in the door. Others would sell me outdated food, but hey, the great Uchiha could get a discount in any store. Best of all, your family didn't put a curse seal upon you. No, I got a stage higher than that. I got a Hokage to do that for me," Naruto explained as his neck began to hurt. "I never asked for them to show me any favors, they just respected that I was an Uchiha," Sasuke countered. Naruto rolled his eyes at Sasuke's rebuttal. "So all the hurt and anguish they heaped upon me along with what both of you are doing now was only because you are an Uchiha and I had the Kyuubi sealed within me without my permission." Sasuke looked out over the crowd that had begun to assemble and yelled to them. "Everyone, I am going to destroy the Kyuubi reborn, Naruto Uzumaki." Sasuke then drew his sword and impaled the blonde in the heart. "Goodbye, Naruto. You were my friend. You made me the last Uchiha and for that you must die. I no longer seek the Kyuubi as it would only get in the way of my plans." Sasuke whispered into Naruto's ear as he pulled the sword to the side, using Naruto's ribs as a guide and sprayed blood from Naruto's destroyed heart. "Oh, by the way, there is a poison on my blade that will not allow you to heal. I figure you have about 2 minutes to live. What will you do now? Other than die? Oh, and I will not let this bitch have your demon spawn either." Naruto watched as Sasuke picked up the unconscious Shien and pushed the sword all the way through her chest while he smiled. "Now you can die with your whore," Sasuke yelled as he and Sakura dropped the pair off the tower. Naruto and Shien landed in a heap at the bottom of the tower. "I have rid the village of the evil of the Kyuubi. I have also ensured that it did not have any more demon spawn." Some of the crowd applauded, some were revolted by what had just happened. Naruto winced in pain as Tsunade, Hinata, Isaribi, and Yakumo screamed their horror as they all knelt beside the stricken pair. Naruto coughed up blood and then grinned. "I am sorry, Obaa-chan, girls." "Is Shien-chan alright?" Naruto asked apologetically. Tsunade shook her head as tears rolled down her eyes. They saw his eyes turn red with slits. "You won't get away with this, Teme, and your Sharingan will not stop the Kyuubi this time. You are evil, to have killed me in cold blood, one of the women I love, and our unborn child. Naruto called out with all of his strength as he was surrounded by red chakra. Naruto smiled as the red chakra burst forth from him. It formed a large fox with 9 tails. Tsunade and the girls were all wept as they had jumped down to see what they could do for Naruto and Shien. They all knew there was little they could do to stop Naruto and Shien from dying. The fox looked angrily at both Sasuke and Sakura. "Sasuke-kun, what do we do?" Sakura asked meekly. Sasuke tried to force his will upon the Kyuubi, but it didn't work. "What is going on? Why will you not submit to my will, Demon Fox?" Sasuke asked the Kyuubi. "I have a little tale to tell the people of Konoha before I kill you." Do they remember the founding of Konoha? The Uchiha and Senju both agreed to found a village so that they would no longer have to fight each other. The Uchiha have had a hold on me since times bygone. The Senju could also control all of the Biju through their Mokuton ability. Now that the one who was responsible for the attack on Konoha that happened when Naruto was born is dead, Madara Uchiha, I can end your pathetic evil line, Uchiha. You think you deserve revenge for the choice that your brother or the village made. Well, let me give you some information, Uchiha. Madara is the one who made me attack the village in order to kill off the Uchiha, and that included you, idiot. The kid, Naruto, has kept my anger at bay for all these 19 years. Now the honorable Sasuke Uchiha kills his best friend, and a pregnant woman in cold blood with the help of the pink banshee. You are not shinobi, you are murderers and without honor. Naruto loved you, but others loved him and you strung him along like he was nothing. Well, he is getting another chance. The Shinigami has agreed to help us fix this. So I will take pleasure in hurting those who have hurt the kid, starting with you too. The fox stated as its jaws closed upon both Sasuke and Sakura, killing both instantly. The fox went on a rampage for the next 20 minutes, killing people but leaving others alone. Only those who had either hurt or injured Naruto were killed by the Kyuubi. Tsunade and Hinata both worked furiously to try to stem the blood from both Naruto and Shien. They were able to extend their lives for several precious moments. Isaribi held his hand as she wept. Naruto watched as the 4 females worked their hardest to try save both Shien and himself. He knew that their work was in vain, as he had torn the seal on the Kyuubi's cage. If I only had the time, I would want to try to be with each one of you, Naruto said quietly. Yakumo gently kissed Naruto on the lips as tears hit his face. We all love you, Naruto-kun. If we could, we would give you all that you have missed. Hinata's eyes streamed tears as she worked to heal his shredded heart. No, Naruto-kun, not yet. I love you too much to let you go now. Tsunade shook her head as she worked on Shien. If we only had more time, we might be able to fix them both. Shien looked at Naruto and smiled gently as life left her eyes. Naruto saddened as Shien died. Naruto's eyes went blank as he smiled at each of the females kneeling over him. I love you all. Naruto's arm went limp as his breathing stopped. All 4 yelled, no, in unison. The fox returned and bowed before the teary-eyed women. He will be missed, but there is a way to fix this. It will take quite a bit of my power to do it, but I propose a way to fix this and have the kid back. Do you accept? The fox asked quietly, as the woman just nodded. I can bring one of you back in a new full body, but the others only as spirits. Since you are the oldest and all love the kid, I will send you back in a body. The other 3 will take their spirits back. We will also take Shien's spirit back. Then you can either take over your younger bodies or you can merge with the current spirit. If you just take over, you will kill your younger spirit. I advise against it. Tsunade, was it? Tsunade nodded to the fox's question. I will give you a new body so that like the others you can be with the kid like you so wanted, but there will be a catch though. Tsunade blushed and tried to deny it. What do you mean? You all wanted kids from the Naruto-kun. Do not deny it, I can smell it on all of you. I can also see it in your grief. Do not think I do this for any reason other than my own survival. This is a one-time offer from the Shinigami and I do not want to waste it. I will die here in less than a half an hour. So here is how it will go. The 4 girls and I will merge with our younger selves. Tsunade will appear in Konoha in a younger body. The kid will be about 12 years old, as will all the girls. The Shinigami also wants you, Tsunade, to follow Naruto to find a certain individual that should not have died years ago. She will also agree to share the kid with all of you. We are returning to the time just before Naruto left for the Wave Country. I am sure you know whom I speak. Kyuubi asked as Tsunade nodded. You are referring to the fake hunter Nen, I presume? Tsunade asked and the fox nodded. If we can have Naruto-kun back, we will do anything, Hinata added as both the others nodded agreement. The fox dissipated and then all 4 women were surrounded by red chakra. None were burned, but it did hurt. All of them screamed and then passed out, and then passed away. Tsunade woke up in the Senju clan house and realized she was completely. She awoke in one of the guest bedrooms on the bed, along with the worst headache she had ever had. She found some clothes that seemed to fit her as she found a full-length mirror and saw that her body was that of her 14th year or so. Boy, is Naruto-kun in for a big surprise when he gets older. Tsunade thought to herself. She then noticed her hair was a slightly lighter shade than it was when she was 14. There was also a nagging presence in the back of her mind. She quickly put on the clothes she found and raided some family money so that she could get some items for the trip to the Wave Country. Tsunade then went to market and purchased several things: kunai, shuriken, food rations, and feminine hygiene supplies. The thing that bothered her was people kept on calling her Yoshiko-sama. She then found Naruto walking with his pack towards the gates. She made sure not to make eye contact. That would happen after she had saved Haku. Tsunade walked out of the village and followed Naruto just to keep an eye on him. Hinata woke up in her bed and got ready to do a mission with Kurenai-sensei. She decided she needed to talk to her sensei about her feelings for a certain blonde. She also did her best to talk to her younger self as it kept on passing out on her. This is going to make merging a little harder than I thought. I really do hate these D-ranked missions. Isaribi had an easy time as she woke in her shack outside of the village near Demon Island and explained to her younger self that if they merged they would find someone to love them for who they were, not despise her for what they are. The younger embraced her so quickly it was almost disturbing. Isaribi was happy now that she knew where to go now. All she had to do was leave that idiot of a scientist and head towards Konoha. Yakumo was having it almost as easy as Isaribi as she and her younger self had quickly dispatched ID while she showed her younger self how she could be helped if they merged. ID was easy to dispatch as the young Yakumo played her part as bait easily, and the older Yakumo ambushed ID and killed him even easier than it was with Naruto-kun and Kurenai's help. Shion was having a hard time as her younger self did not quite believe that she would find someone who could actually change someone's destiny and most of all love her for her. And to know that her older self was pregnant and had died was also quite a shock. This would take some time for both of them to be able to get along. Tsunade was not doing so well either. She had followed Naruto's team out of the village as she had shown her papers the guards who let her pass with few questions. She looked at the papers. The name on it was Yoshiko Senju, daughter of Tsunade Senju, age 14. As she followed the team at a distance, she saw the fight with the demon brothers and watched as Naruto froze at the start of the fight only to be hurt by one of the assailants. Kakashi, why did you bring them out so early? They were just not ready. She thought questioningly. She watched as Naruto made a determined speech and pushed his kunai into his hand to let the poison out. Tsunade rolled her eyes as Kakashi warned him that he might bleed to death from his actions. Tsunade had to hold her temper so that she did not jump out just to kill both the Uchiha and her former apprentice-to-be. She then followed them across the water as they moved towards the island. She wanted to make sure that she did not interfere with what was happening until the time was right. Tsunade watched the antics of Naruto as he tried to make sure that Sasuke didn't show him up. Naruto threw a kunai at an animal, and got berated for going wild with his equipment. She then sensed it, as did Naruto and Kakashi. Naruto then threw a kunai right at the chakra signature. even though it was well hidden. Tsunade smiled. She saw that his senses were working. It angered her as she watched Sakura berate and hit Naruto for scaring her. Kakashi then called for everyone to duck, as Zabuza's sword nearly decapitated the whole group. Tsunade sighed in relief as Naruto had avoided injury. Tsunade watched as the introductions finished and the fight began. Naruto and Sasuke were holding their weapons properly, but Sakura appeared deficient. Then the mist completely covered the battlefield. After several moments, Kakashi blew the mist away with his chakra. Sasuke seemed frozen by the killing intent and intensity of the chakra. Tsunade chuckled lightly as she watched Sasuke nearly kill himself. Tsunade watched as the battle played out. She watched in horror as Naruto was nearly killed, but he then gained the courage to stand up against Zabuza as Zabuza trapped Kakashi. She nearly cheered as Naruto used his shadow clones and henge to trick Zabuza into releasing Kakashi. She sensed Haku showing up and they both watched the battle. The battle concluded when Haku disabled Zabuza, making it look as if she had killed him. Tsunade heard a voice in her head. Yes, that is her, but the time is not right just yet. Naruto was then forced to drag Kakashi's unconscious body to Tsunade's house, and she then lost track on them inside the house. Tsunade began to search the island for a place to stay and to also find out where Zabuza and Haku were hiding. She knew the story of Gato in the Land of Waves, or at least the one that was told to her. She found their hideout quickly enough but was not sure how to meet with Haku and definitely did not want to meet Zabuza. Tsunade left and headed to a nice place to camp near Tsunade's house. I wonder if Naruto is able to contact Kyuubi yet. Tsunade thought to herself. She again heard a voice in her head. No, he has not and will not until either you help him or Jiraiya again throws him off the cliff. He will be able to access my chakra but not me, so we should wait and watch to make sure there has been no corruption of the time stream. So now do not ask how I am able to talk to you. You are just in close proximity to the kid, and we have a couple surprises for you. I would like it if you would either interfere after the girl is injured, or keep her from protecting Zabuza. I can offer you some chakra to help if you want to heal her after she is injured by Kakashi, but you must be in direct contact with the kid for it to work. Tsunade raised an eyebrow. Kyuubi? The voice in her head chuckled. No, I am the festival bunny. Of course I am the Kyuubi. Who else do you think would talk to you in your head? Oh, by the way, you are the only one I can do this to other than the kid. As for the chakra for healing, you will need to ask the kid to touch your shoulders and mold some chakra. I will send you the needed chakra. Do not tell him what I told you, as we need the timeline to not be too messed up. Tsunade nodded as she went back near the house and set up camp near a field that held medicinal herbs. So how can I talk to you and the others can't? For one, your body was brought back to life with one of my future tales. You, my dear, are also a Jinchuriki. Kyuubi answered. Tsunade stopped making camp and wore a confused look. What do you mean I'm a Jinchuriki? Because your body was brought to life, my chakra tale, and one of my dying kits, you are more than you seem. You shall be the kid's prime mate. The others will be subservient to you. I know the Hyuga girl would rather be the prime, but you are a stronger mate and they will fall into line. The Shinigami also deemed this as he has power over life and death. Oh, one other thing. You must mate with him first, then the others may mate with him, but you must be first, or all of you will die, and that includes the kid and myself. I will explain it all in time, but you do not have to worry about mating with him until the kid is a little older. Do you have a cover story for when you meet the kid yet? The Kyuubi inquired with a chuckle. Wait, what do you mean one of your dying kid? Tsunade inquired, almost frantic. We, meaning the Shinigami and I, have used the miscarried child you had from your younger body and a kid of mine that was dying. It was sealed within you before the miscarriage occurred. I am sure glad the Shinigami is on our side. Have you tested your chakra yet? It will have a demonic tinge to it. While you are similar to your older self, you are also a little different. Your consciousness will have to merge with the one in this body, but your genetics are a mix of Jiraiya and Tsunade. Basically you are their daughter. Kyuubi replied with a chuckle. So you made me my own daughter, and daughter of that pervert Jiraiya? Why might I ask? Tsunade asked almost incredulous. The Kyuubi sighed. 1. As a means to an end. 2. We could not create a body without a lot of work. We have suppressed your body's memories of your childhood for the moment. Tsunade and Shizune have raised you for 14 years. We didn't even need to manipulate your past self to have a child with Jiraiya. It just seemed like the best option. If you remember correctly, you did miscarry 2 years before the kid was born. Instead, we allowed that child to live. Also, you must rest so that your mind and her mind can merge and become one. And as for being a Jinchuriki, you carry a kid within you made from 2 of my tails, and my child, thus the reason why we have the link. We took a tail from my future self and one from my present self, and we used them to keep you alive as a baby. You have adequate chakra control and all your knowledge. You just woke up as yourself because we set a mental timer seal upon you so that you could meet up with the kid. Also, you have the Mokuton gene active, and with that you can help control the kid so he does not go a little too wild. Not my idea, as I would rather that little thing go away like the Sharingan. But enough chit-chat, now go to bed and merge with your new self. As she dreamt, she learned her given name was Yoshiko. According to Shizune, it was to help her mother with her terrible luck. Not that it actually worked. Yoshiko accepted Tsunade as part of herself and agreed to merge their memories and personalities. She found that Yoshiko to be young and open-minded and did not mind being said to wed Naruto, especially as she learned about how handsome he would become. She also had no problem with sharing the boy. Yoshiko was a little bit disturbed that her father was Jiraiya, as her mother never let her near the man except for once. Yoshiko wanted to change that and get to know her father and his future apprentice. In the morning, Yoshiko woke and knew whom she was and what she needed to do. With nearly 70 years of experience, she knew that she was no longer a 50-plus-year-old woman, nor was she a 14-year-old girl. She did know that she was in love, though. Given all the knowledge from Tsunade's personality and extra chakra to control, she also felt the added reserves from the 2-tailed demons sealed within her. She meditated the rest of the day to get a hold on her chakra and to try to reach the demon kid within her. She knew that she would have about a week until Naruto-kun would have to come by and train his little heart out, so she decided to watch and train herself. She knew all that an older Tsunade knew and all the training her mother had given her. She was deeply confused and relieved at the merger. She had an endless circular thought about her being her own mother in a strange mixed-up way. But the Shinigami had given where it had taken before, and she was not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. She just hoped that the messing with the time stream that the Shinigami and the Kyuubi had done didn't screw up things too much. She also knew she had to save both Naruto-kun and Haku-chan. After several hours, she heard Naruto yelp in pain as he fell from his first attempt at tree climbing. She smirked as she thought of how part of her wanted to go and help heal him. She then heard a whisper of a voice within her. "Hello, is anybody there?" Yoshiko closed her eyes and found herself in a field with a giant fence. There was a fox the size of a horse with 2 tails on the other side of the fence. "Who are you?" Yoshiko asked. "I am the inner demon you carry, your burden. You are my container, no doubt," the fox replied. "I know the Kyuubi is dangerous, but are you?" Yoshiko asked. The fox smiled and produced a glint in its eye. "We are always dangerous. You can only trust us if we give you our word, but Father has stated that you are to be treated well and given chakra when needed. As I do not know the outside world, so you will be my eyes and ears. I will enhance your senses to help protect both of us. You being a Mokuton user forces me to obey you only as much as you can keep me in line. Remember this, girl, we are a pair, but when you die I move on, like Father will now." Tsunade looked shocked. Yes, the Shinigami altered his seal so that when Naruto-kun dies, so will you, and it will release both of us. But that will only happen if he can reach his 20th birthday. You are special in the eyes of both the Shinigami and Father. You, while in your older form, you were like a mother he never had, and he loved you that way and more. It is hard to describe as the boy did not have any idea what love really was, at least not until the end. Now that we have merged yourself with your older version of your mother, this has helped you in many ways. First, you now have access to several jutsu that you would not have had otherwise. Your chakra control has changed from poor to above average. It will take the rest of the week for us to get it to a level where you can do precise healing. As I do have some of my father's memories, I would advise you to work on your chakra control first, and then you should figure out a technique that will heal a girl suffering from a Chidori attack to the chest. Also, we will be taking Haku-chan away from Naruto-kun to help keep from polluting the timeline too much. I will say this, though. Zabuza can live or die. That is up to you or the situation. Either way, Haku-chan must survive and Gato must die. Naruto-kun must be entered into the Chunin exams, and from there we can push to change how things happened. You must act as a sideline player for a while, as will Haku-chan. When you return, you can tell your mother about nothing that you know. I am sorry, but father was forceful that Sarutobi be sent to the Shinigami. It will be his time to go. Yoshiko's eyes watered as she knew her one-time sensei would have to die. Why do I have to have all these memories? Why does Sarutobi sensei have to die? I feel like I know Naruto-kun, but no, I don't. You know him well enough, and you will again fall in love with him. He is your mate after all, and there is no way around it. Now, I will help you to deal with the heartache of the loss of his older self, and you can start to learn to love him for yourself. The fox gently stated. Maybe we can get him to change into another color or tone down his outfit some. Is that why I have always had this image in the back of my mind of a blonde boy with whisker marks? Yoshiko asked as she began to softly cry. The fox nodded its head. Yoshiko broke the connection with the fox and opened her eyes. She found her face wet from tears that she wouldn't stop flowing. Why am I crying? Yoshiko asked herself. As I said, I am going to help you deal with the loss of the older Naruto-kun. We have a week to deal with it and then save his younger self and one of the people who is precious to him. By the way, you can refer to me as Aki, Yoshiko, formerly Tsunade, and Yoshiko. We are also dealing with the assimilation of over 50 years of experiences for your Tsunade half and about 14 years from yourself. This is what is needed. Aki replied gently. Why are you being nice to me? Aren't you demon foxes supposed to be malevolent? Yoshiko inquired. Only when angered, and I'm still young, so you do not have yet to worry about me double-crossing you yet. I figure it will take about 400 years for me to be ready to trick you. Aki replied with a chuckle. I will be dead by then. Yoshiko stated. My point exactly. Yoshiko heard the fox snicker. Now let's get to training. We need you to have expert chakra control. Now make about 50 shadow clones and have them get to work on chakra control exercises such as climbing trees, spinning leaves, water walking, and any others that you can think of. Aki ordered. I know, also dismiss them in small groups so as not to overflood my mind with information. Yoshiko replied mentally. With 50 Yoshikos working in the forest and near the water on chakra control, the original worked on her kata for her taijutsu. The rest of the afternoon was spent doing the taijutsu kata, while the clones worked on chakra control. She eventually quit and dismissed the clones. The evening meal was actually larger than she thought she should have eaten, but Aki assured her she needed a lot more food than a normal person to keep up her energy did. The next day she created an extra clone and sent it off to watch over Naruto-kun for her, while she continued to work on her skills. Every night she would play the memories of Naruto-kun, trying so hard to get the tree walking exercise down. She felt a mild blush cross her face at the memories and a warm feeling in her stomach. The rest of the week was the same routine, as she came to look forward to getting the clone's memories of watching Naruto-kun. On the night of the 5th day she found Naruto lying exhausted on the ground in a patch of medicinal plants. Tomorrow is the morning, isn't it, Aki? Yoshiko asked her tenant. Yes, it is. Now we will wait for Haku-chan to find him in the morning. Aki replied as Yoshiko made a clone to watch over Naruto while she slept. The next morning she woke early and dismissed the clone just before Haku arrived. At first it looked like Haku would attack Naruto, but she then woke Naruto. They had a nice conversation about precious people. It ended with Haku proclaiming she was a boy and leaving just as Sasuke arrived. Yoshiko pushed down her animosity towards Sasuke for at least for a little while, as her right now Sasuke is Naruto's friend and teammate, and their banter was more playful than it would later become. Yoshiko woke the next day. She sent a clone to check on Naruto at the house, and she herself went to the bridge to keep an eye on Haku to make sure she did not get hurt early. She arrived at the bridge to watch as Zabuza had either scared off or knocked out all the people ready for work on the bridge. She hid and waited for Team 7 minus Naruto to arrive. It didn't take long. The fight began with Zabuza teasing Sasuke about being afraid, but Sasuke replied that he was excited. He then proceeded to destroy 5 of Zabuza's water clones. The fight then proceeded to fighting between Sasuke and Haku while Kakashi and Zabuza watched. The fight between Sasuke and Haku was rather one-sided, as Haku showed her superior skills and mastery of her Kekkei Genkai. Naruto eventually showed up and proceeded to pull some very stupid maneuvers, but all in all he acquitted himself well for a genin against a Chunin. Yoshiko watched as Sasuke selflessly sacrificed himself to protect Naruto, and in turn have Naruto release some of the Kyuubi's chakra in despair, as he believed that Haku had killed Sasuke. He used it expertly as he pummeled Haku. Yoshiko was worried that she might have to rush in and save her earlier than expected. Yoshiko watched as Kakashi readied his lightning jutsu and was ready to hit Zabuza. Haku at that moment created an ice mirror and moved in front of Zabuza. "Now Yoshiko, go now," Aki yelled in her mind as Yoshiko moved at top speed to catch Haku as Kakashi pulled his hand out of her chest. Yoshiko watched as horror and fear swept across Naruto's face. Yoshiko gently placed Haku on the ground, cut a large bundle of Haku's hair, placing it on her chest, and began to do a healing jutsu on Haku, as everyone but Naruto and Sasuke looked on in shock. Sasuke was unconscious and Naruto had come running to see what had happened to Haku. Naruto slid on his knees to end up at Haku's before he turned to Yoshiko. "Can you heal him?" Naruto asked with worry on his face. Yoshiko nodded and blushed. "I can with your help." Naruto looked confused. "Come behind me and place your hands on my shoulders. Then channel chakra into your hands. I will be able to use your chakra to augment my own to do the healing, as I don't have a healing seal readied." Naruto complied as he got up and walked behind Yoshiko. He placed his hands on her shoulders, touching her shirt, and began to channel chakra to his hands. His face became red. "Like this?" Naruto asked shyly. Yoshiko shook her head. "No, you must touch my skin for it to work, or we will just be wasting chakra." Naruto gulped and knelt down. He then placed his hands on the skin of her upper arms as both of them blushed at the touch. "Yes, that's it. Thank you, Blondie," Yoshiko replied as she smirked. Sasuke started to stir in Sakura's grip. Sakura watched intently as Naruto had touched the new girl. Sakura's face contorted in anger. "Naruto, you don't touch a girl like that." Naruto looked at Sakura with a worried look on his face, not sure if he should let go or continue to do what he was doing. He then noticed the wound on Haku begin to close. He also noticed the wrappings on Haku's chest. He averted his eyes as to make sure that Haku was not a girl and embarrass the both of them. "But Sakura, I have to help," Naruto replied sadly. "Naruto, he is the enemy, and she should be helping Sasuke-kun instead," Sakura yelled her protest at Naruto. "Shut up, Pinky," Yoshiko demanded. "I am working here and he is helping while you should be watching the end of the bridge." Gato stood there with all of his thugs with surprised looks on their faces. "How did you know we were here?" Gato demanded, then shook his head. "It doesn't matter. Zabuza, you failed me. Now I'm going to kill you and these worthless shinobi who stopped you. I will take the girls and take special pleasure in tormenting your young apprentice." Yoshiko turned to Naruto, who looked into her eyes. "Hey kid, thanks for helping Haku. Can you spare a kunai? I want to take out the trash," Zabuza said as he tore the bandages on his mouth. He turned to Tazuna and smiled. Guess I am no longer after your life. Zabuza then turned back to Naruto and Yoshiko. So kid, you got that extra kunai? Naruto looked at Yoshiko, who nodded and spoke. You can remove one hand then return it. I only need a few more minutes to help her. Naruto smiled a real smile and moved his right hand to his pouch and pulled out a kunai, deftly throwing it to Zabuza, who grabbed it in his mouth. As Zabuza ran to the group of thugs, Naruto replaced his hands and pushed more chakra into Yoshiko. Zabuza tore through the thugs on his way towards a terrified Gato. I will see you in hell, because guy like you will be ruled by demons like me there. Zabuza exclaimed as he stabbed Gato in the throat, sending him off the bridge to die in the water. Zabuza turned to find that those he had not killed had cut off his escape route. Thanks kid, I will remember this if you ever make to hell with me. Zabuza charged the group and used his feet to beat his way through the group to finally fall onto a weary Kakashi. Please take me to Haku, I want to see her before I die. He whispered to Kakashi, whose eyes went wide, and he just nodded as he pulled several weapons from Zabuza's back. Kakashi then picked up Zabuza and laid him next to Haku. Kakashi then looked at the sweating blonde girl. Can you save them both? Yoshiko began to shake her head. I don't know. Just doing this is taking a lot out of me and Naruto, isn't it? Yoshiko looked at Naruto, who was also sweating, as he nodded his response. I will do what I can, but I need to stabilize this one first. If we have enough strength left, we will work on him. But first we need to take care of them. Yoshiko nodded towards the waiting thugs.
Zabuza gently brushed Haku's face. Take care of Haku for me, kid. Haku was more than a tool, Haku was like my child. Maybe I might get to go to heaven even with all that I have done. Please save Haku if nothing else. I know my life is forfeit. Tell Haku that I will try to watch over, Zabuza stated as he breathed his last breath.
Yoshiko felt the tears run down her face as she continued to work on Haku. I will watch over Haku for you. Yoshiko and Naruto both replied in unison as Naruto gently squeezed her shoulders as he continued to deliver chakra to her. Kakashi looked at his group and shook his head. These are long odds. I am nearly out of chakra and there are too many of them for me to kill myself. Naruto-kun, I have enough chakra left to finish this. Please help your sensei or we'll all die. Yoshiko asked as she looked deeply into his eyes. Naruto smiled and nodded. Wearily Naruto stood up and made a crossed finger hand sign. Shadow Clone Jutsu. About 50 shadow clones appeared on the bridge and all drew a kunai. Kakashi shrugged his shoulders and made a ram hand sign, Clone Jutsu. About 60 Kakashi appeared on the bridge. This caused the mercenaries to become worried for these exhausted shinobi to create over 100 clones. This would make the fight almost one-sided in the shinobi's favor. Haku's breathing steadied as Yoshiko began to falter. Suddenly a crossbow bolt hit the bridge at the feet of the mercenaries. Everyone turned to see Inari leading the whole village, all of them armed with something. You can either leave now or we can force you to leave, Inari shouted as the rest of the villagers rallied behind Inari. The mercenaries ran from the bridge in a panic. Yoshiko began to wrap Haku under her robe to maintain her modesty. Kakashi walked over to Yoshiko and looked at her. You seem familiar, and can you help heal my student? Yoshiko rocked back on her heels and shook her head. I can't help your Uchiha student at the moment, I am just too tired and am nearly out of chakra. As for who I am, my name is Yoshiko Senju. I have to finish treating the wounds on this one before I can work on your student. He should be fine, I do see a lot of senbon but none of them are in vital areas. Remove them and patch him up. I will be by in a couple days to check on him. Yoshiko turned to Naruto and smiled warmly as she blushed. Thank you, Naruto-kun. You were a great help. I will take care of your friend. You will see us again. I can assure you of that. What to do with Zabuza's body? Kakashi asked out loud as an idea suddenly came to him. Naruto, you have burial detail. Bury Zabuza's body and bring me the head. It was nice to meet you, Yoshiko-hime. Send your mother my warmest regards. Kakashi said as he smiled behind his mask. Naruto nodded his acknowledgement and made several shadow clones that grabbed Zabuza's body and the giant sword. Yes, sensei. Naruto and his clones headed back towards the landing. Kakashi watched as Sakura gently removed the senbon from Sasuke. Yoshiko watched as Sakura took delight in tending to the small wounds all over the exhausted Uchiha. So Yoshiko-hime, what are you doing here in Wave? Kakashi asked nonchalantly. Yoshiko shrugged and then spoke. Nothing really, I just wanted to get away from the village and this seemed like a nice spot, at least until I arrived. The economy is so depressed, but the bridge seemed like it will fix that. Kakashi nodded but kept an eye on the young Senju. What brought you to this fight? Yoshiko smiled. I felt the chakra spikes and headed to the bridge. I saw this person struck by your jutsu and saw the concern on Naruto-kun's face and had to act. I didn't see what headbands you wore, so I decided to help either side until I could figure out who was who. Kakashi shook his head. That was a risky decision, young lady. You could have been captured or killed or worse. You were just lucky it was Leaf Shinobi here, not some other village. Yoshiko blushed. I guess you're right. I will be more careful next time. You seem to have taken a liking to one of my students, Kakashi commented. Yoshiko blushed and then stuttered. What do you mean? Kakashi smiled. I am sure Naruto will be glad to know he has a following. If I may ask, why are you not drawn like most of the other girls to Sasuke? Yoshiko immediately frowned. He is an Uchiha and that is enough for me. Kakashi frowned but nodded in agreement. That is understandable. While your two families founded Konoha, they did not always get along. I hope it isn't because of history. Yoshiko put her hands on her hips. Look, Hataki-san, I do not find Sasuke Uchiha attractive the least. I like blondes better. Oops, she immediately covered her mouth with both hands and blushed profusely. Sakura, having finished with patching up Sasuke, walked over. What is so attractive about that baka? Yoshiko shifted her hands so that she was biting on her right index fingernail. Well, I like his face, those whisker marks are just so cute. His eyes show so much depth, I could just swim in them. His smile is to die for. Yoshiko nearly swooned as she talked. She is almost as bad as you and Ino, when you both talk about your Sasuke-kun. Kakashi teased. Both Yoshiko and Sakura blushed. So you learned medical jutsu from your mother? Kakashi asked as Yoshiko nodded. Could you take some time and work with Sakura, here? Yoshiko shook her head. Nope, not going to happen. I still have a lot to learn. I also have to get this one to a place where I can finish my healing work. Like I said, I will be by in a couple days to look in on the Uchiha boy. Where are you staying, by the way? Tsunade spoke up. They are staying at my place. You are welcome to join us there if you like, and then you can look over the two of them, if needed. Yoshiko gently picked up Haku as Kakashi picked up Sasuke. She followed Tsunade, Kakashi, and Sakura back to Tsunade's house. Kakashi attempted to put Sasuke in the same room as Haku. Yoshiko adamantly refused. When asked why, her answer was, boys and girls will not sleep in the same room. Kakashi's eyes went wide with the confirmation that Haku was a girl. Yoshiko told Kakashi not to spread this information around or he would regret it. Naruto came back none too happy. He and his clones had buried Zabuza and brought his head back in a cloth bag. Kakashi had then sealed it into a scroll and told Naruto to get cleaned up. Naruto grumbled about having to do all the grunt work. This caused Yoshiko to giggle and Sakura to hit him, for which Yoshiko slammed Sakura into a wall. Naruto was stunned for two reasons. One, a girl was actually defending him from Sakura, and two, she was as cute if not cuter than Sakura. Naruto thought to investigate this further after he cleaned up. Naruto entered the bathroom and disrobed to his boxers. He then washed his hands and head. He then put his clothes in the sink and cleaned them. He pulled a sewing kit out of his pack and began to repair his clothes when the door opened and Yoshiko entered. She turned bright red as she looked Naruto directly in the face. Her eyes traveled down his body and she was both embarrassed and angry. Naruto was, as her knowledge of human anatomy told her, nearly emaciated and near starving. She saw muscles, but she saw bones everywhere. Where there should be at least some fat, Naruto had none. His face hid his starvation well. Yoshiko bowed and began an apology. I am sorry, I did not realize you were in this bathroom. Forgive my staring. If you will excuse me, I will use the other bathroom. She also noted that he was repairing his outfit. She knew he should have a spare while out on a mission. Either he didn't own one or he failed to bring an extra. Naruto noticed her eyes, they did not hold the hatred that others showed him. While he was embarrassed to be caught with his pants down, literally, he was happy to find someone else who did not hate him. His sad look changed to a big smile. That is okay. Sorry for my state of undress. Let me put my clothes back on and you can use this bathroom. Yoshiko turned and shook her head. No, that is all right, I will use the other one. You apparently did not bring another outfit and have to repair this one. This room should have afforded you privacy. I'm sorry I barged in. Naruto had put on his pants and his shirt. He put his hand on Yoshiko's shoulder and she turned around to look directly into his eyes. I am sorry for hogging this room. Naruto's eyes looked down then back. She saw gratefulness in his eyes. Thank you for saving Haku-chan. Yoshiko wore an expression of surprise and stuttered out, how did you know? Naruto smiled and winked at her. I'm not going to tell you, you'll think I am a pervert and now the bathroom is yours. Naruto said as he passed her and left the room. Yoshiko immediately heard Sakura hit Naruto and yell at him. You are not supposed to go into the bathroom when a girl is in there. Geez, Sakura, I was in there first, and nothing happened. Naruto snidely replied as she heard his being hit again. Yoshiko was getting angry with the pink banshee for abusing her Naruto-kun. I swear I am going to kill her after the Chunin exams. Yoshiko thought to herself. The rest of the night was filled with Naruto annoying Sakura, much to Yoshiko's delight. Kakashi seemed to have an idea in his mind but kept his nose in his book. The next week saw the finishing of the bridge. Naruto was a great help in that his shadow clones did most of the grunt work. Haku and Sasuke were healed for the most part. Haku still had more work to be done on her, but Yoshiko made sure that she got plenty of rest and was healing properly. Yoshiko and Haku became fast friends and would talk about Naruto when no one else was around. Haku dropped the boy persona when it was just herself and Yoshiko. Yoshiko explained that Konoha actually liked bloodlines, but she would have to be careful not to let the council try to marry her off to someone. Haku admitted that she was attracted to Naruto but was scared of what she saw when they fought. Yoshiko helped Haku through the pain of losing Zabuza as best as she could. Haku wanted to get to know Naruto better, but Yoshiko advised her to wait until after Naruto had grown a little. She would like the results, she was sure of it. Yoshiko also told Haku about Naruto's secret to her. Haku at first was only surprised, then she accepted that Naruto has had a hard life like she did and would do what she could to help make his life better. Yoshiko told Haku that was also her goal and that they both with the help of others could make Naruto the happiest person alive. Haku blushed at the possible revelations that Yoshiko was discussing. The six left Wave on a happy note. Haku had accepted Zabuza's death and made Naruto one of her precious people. Yoshiko left a shadow clone to see what they were going to name the bridge to make sure that there was not too much pollution in the time stream. The people voted to name the bridge, the Great Naruto Bridge. Yoshiko was pleased to learn of what they named the bridge after Naruto. Sakura spent the whole trip trying to make sure that Yoshiko didn't want to take Sasuke away from her. Sasuke for his part tried to stay close to her. His conversations were very droll and mostly about himself. Yoshiko just rolled her eyes, giggled and looked at Haku. Sasuke thought he might be making headway with the heir to the Senju clan. Boy, was he wrong. When they finally got to the village, Naruto had become quiet, not sure what was going on with Haku and Yoshiko. Both kept on looking at him funny and blushing. Sakura had become very loud in her attempt to get Sasuke's attention. Sasuke kept on trying to get closer to Yoshiko. Kakashi was contemplating what he was going to do with the two new girls. Both were skilled, had bloodlines, but both seemed to hate Sasuke and both girls seemed to like Naruto. Kakashi just sighed as they entered the village. Haku was wide-eyed as they headed towards the Hokage's tower. Naruto ignored the glares as Haku and Yoshiko both put their hands on Naruto's shoulders. Naruto gently smiled back to the girls. All six entered the Hokage's office and saw the Hokage sitting at his chair happily smoking. "So Team 7, how did your mission go?" "Oh hello Yoshiko-chan, and who is your friend?" The Hokage greeted the group. Yoshiko bowed and smiled at Sarutobi. "This is Haku, someone I met in the Land of Waves. She was working with Zabuza Momichi," Kakashi stated as the rest of Team 7's jaws hit the floor. Yoshiko, Naruto and Haku all shot Kakashi a very angry look. Sasuke then leered longingly at Haku. Naruto pointed at Kakashi and could not say a word. "I suggest we put her up with Sasuke in the Uchiha compound." Yoshiko continued to glare at Kakashi. "She will be staying with me at the Senju compound. I do not trust the Uchiha to leave her alone. I would also ask that the Hokage keep her status as a female a private matter. She is under my family's protection." "Why would that be?" Sarutobi inquired. "Because she has an ice bloodline trait," Kakashi noted as Sarutobi raised an eyebrow. "The council will want to know about her ability." Yoshiko was now livid as was Haku. "I wish for my abilities to remain my own. If they are spread around the village I will give you a senbon castration. Then freeze your testicles off. Do I make myself clear?" Haku threatened as Kakashi began to sweat. She then looked directly at the Hokage. "That goes for you too, old man. I was promised protection from both Yoshiko-chan and Naruto-kun." The Hokage looked a little scared and also confused. "Okay, let's start from the beginning. First I want to collect the bounty for Zabuza Momichi, the demon of the mist," Kakashi stated as he unsealed the head from a scroll. Haku's eyes went wide. "Oh, and by the way Naruto took the head off the body." Haku looked worriedly at Naruto whose face was downcast. "Yes sensei, I did take the head off Zabuza's body on your orders. I am sorry Haku-chan." Naruto sounded very sincere. Sasuke just made a sound that showed his disgust at Naruto's sentimental attitude towards Haku. Haku gave an angry look at Sasuke and then turned her face to Naruto, giving him a kind but hurt smile. Yoshiko put her hand on Haku's shoulder to give her comfort. "You did good Naruto, it was a nice clean cut. I do not understand why you are having problems Haku-chan," Sarutobi commented with concern. "Zabuza was precious to Haku, Gigi," Naruto commented to Sarutobi. "He was an evil and cruel man," Sakura commented loudly. The room suddenly became cold. Naruto stood in front of Haku. He then placed his hands upon her shoulders and shook his head. The fire in Haku's eyes softened as she nodded. "Yes, Zabuza-san was precious to me. Thankfully I have found more that are precious to me, to replace what was lost," Haku stated as she looked fondly from Naruto and Yoshiko. "Okay, what happened on the mission and what did Zabuza Momochi have to do with it?" Sarutobi asked pointedly. Naruto began to excitedly explain the tale of the mission. Kakashi stopped him before he got to the point of Naruto saving him from the water prison that Kakashi was trapped in. Kakashi glossed over Naruto's achievements and made a point of showing Sasuke's achievements during the mission. He said teamwork played an important role. Naruto looked dejected at his being shafted by his sensei over what he felt were good points in the mission. Kakashi eventually said he would then turn in his report in the morning and that the team was dismissed. Team 7 left the room as Yoshiko and Haku stayed in the office. "So what do I owe the honor of you two sticking around after the team has given its report?" Sarutobi asked. "Well, Hokage-sama, there are a few things I would like to report," Yoshiko stated with a frown. Yoshiko was rather vocal about what she reported as she left very little out of her report about all she had seen during the wave mission. This shocked and surprised Haku and Sarutobi. Damn it, Hokage-sama. That Haruno girl is less than useless as she is right now, and the Uchiha is even worse as he would abandon his team just to prove a point. He showed some progress near the end of the mission, but he did not show that he truly understood teamwork. Naruto-kun was left to work on his own and used as a tool to push Sasuke to achieve better. All they apparently know right now is the tree climbing exercise. I know that Sasuke at least knows some jutsus. Naruto knows only Shadow Clone, and I don't think he fully understands what is involved with it. Sakura is useless, as she has pathetic chakra reserves but excellent control and absolutely no jutsu other than the Academy 3. Yoshiko ranted. Sarutobi pondered what he was being told. So you are telling me that Kakashi is purposely helping only one of his genin rather than the whole team? Yoshiko shook her head. Not in so much as he is abandoning the team to only do chakra focusing and teamwork exercises. Sakura needs the most work, and then Naruto-kun also needs some help. I would say he needs a mentor or become an apprentice to someone. Sarutobi chuckled at her comments. And who would you suggest, Jiraiya of the Sannin? Yoshiko nodded with a huge smirk. Exactly the man for the job, as he and Naruto-kun share the same hard head, or at least that is what Mom told me about Jiraiya-sama. Both learn by doing. But Naruto was the last in his class. What makes you so interested in a boy like him? Sarutobi inquired. He reminds me of the Yondaime. He, like Mother and I, are some of the few blondes here in the village. He has the will not to give up no matter what. He has a very kind heart. Also, I know there has to be a reason you put him on Kakashi's team. From what I heard, there was another that you were going to put on his team. Yoshiko commented. Sarutobi eyed the girl as if he was beginning to suspect something was amiss with the Senju heir. You are stating I would play favorites and place a boy who looks like the Yondaime with the Yondaime's student. What else would it be? Team 10 is a captured team and Team 8 is a scout team. I would figure that Team 7 would be an assault team, but it isn't. Sure, you have Sasuke Uchiha with his Sharingan, fire jutsu and fighting style, but Sakura Haruno, bookworm of her class, and Naruto Uzumaki, the dead last of his class, on that same team. Let's take a look at Naruto's skills. Shadow Clone is a scouting and information gathering jutsu. He could also use it as an extraction jutsu by filling the area with clones while he and his team make good their escape. His transformation is an actual transformation instead of a genjutsu, another infiltration skill. The sexy jutsu, a variation upon his transformation jutsu, is yet another infiltration skill. His speed is near or better than Chunin level. His evasion skills are at times better than Anbu, even with his choice of wardrobe. This comment brought a chuckle to both Haku and Sarutobi.
So there are things you want to add about the mission that they went on with Tazuna-san. Sarutobi deflected the point of how he made up the squads. There is more here than she is saying, I am sure of it.
Yoshiko took a deep breath and slammed her hand down on Sarutobi's desk, leaving an indentation of her fist. Kakashi glossed over the actual mission, giving the Uchiha boy more credit than he deserved and didn't give enough to Naruto-kun. I must watch out for this girl, she is too much like her mother in a lot of ways. That hole in my desk could have been my stomach. Sarutobi thought to himself. Okay, please fill me in on what you think that Kakashi left out. Haku spoke up this time. Well, during the first encounter, Naruto-kun fought Zabuza-sama's water clone to a standstill. He also devised of a plan that freed Kakashi-san from Zabuza-sama's water prison jutsu. The Uchiha boy had a part to plan but did not come up with the idea or its implementation. On the bridge I was able to incapacitate Uchiha-san while Naruto-kun was able to call forth a great power and stop me. The Haruno girl was left to defend the client while Kakashi-san took Zabuza-sama and the Uchiha boy fought me. Naruto-kun surprised me just as I was about to kill the Uchiha boy. He also surprised everyone when he snuck into my crystal ice prison. No one had noticed until the Uchiha boy yelled at him and brought all attention to him. Had he just left with Naruto-kun, they could have escaped unnoticed. While Naruto-kun is loud, he is also very stealthy when he needs to be. I will go over Kakashi's report carefully and see if these points you have raised are in the report. If not, I will call you both back to help fill in the blanks for me. I will also keep your Kekkei Genkai under wraps for now. So will you be staying at the Senju estate? Sarutobi asked. Yes, we're going to stay there, as Yoshiko-sama has offered me one of the spare bedrooms, Haku explained. Would you care to become a shinobi of the leaf? I can offer you a genin spot in one of my squads that is short a person, Sarutobi offered. If it is all right with the Hokage, I would prefer to not become a shinobi at this time. I am afraid your council will force me into a marriage with a man I do not care for. I'm also still grieving for Zabuza-sama and it would not be appropriate at this time. I thank you for your offer but would like to keep your offer on hold if I can. I have a few things to settle first. Yoshiko-chan has been gracious to offer a home for me in the Senju estate, Haku replied. Very well then, you will be offered citizenship in a few weeks as you pass probation with Yoshiko as your sponsor. I will also keep your bloodline secret as long as I can. I hope you have a good day, ladies, Sarutobi stated with a smile. Yoshiko took Haku to the garment district to purchase both male and female clothes for her. They made it look like the female clothes were for Yoshiko and the male clothes were for Haku. They later entered the Senju house. Yoshiko began to fix lunch when there was a knock on the door. Yoshiko answered the door to find a Chunin asking for Yoshiko and Haku to come to council chambers in an hour. Yoshiko smelled a rat but didn't want to worry Haku too much. The girls ate a quick lunch and then prepared to meet with the Konoha council. Yoshiko and Haku both wore formal wear. Yoshiko wore a green Koman kimono, while Haku wore a plain dark blue kimono in the style of males. Yoshiko was not happy at all. What do those old bats on the council want? Yoshiko stated bluntly. Haku looked confused at Yoshiko. Why would you not show respect for the village council? Yoshiko sighed. They keep on trying to get me to marry this person or that person, because I am the last of the Senju clan. I think they might try to pull the same thing with you. Yoshiko smiled as sly grin crossed her face. Haku-chan, I have a question for you. Haku looked intently at Yoshiko. Yes, Yoshiko-chan, what is your question? What are your feelings towards Naruto-kun? Yoshiko inquired. Haku blushed at the question. To be honest, I see a lot of potential in him that I really do like. I also noticed the hurt and pain behind his eyes. I feel there is a connection between us, but I am not sure how to describe it. He has compassion, more so than you would expect from a shinobi. His heart is pure, that being one of his most endearing attributes. You described him but not your feelings for him. I know that I am in love with the boy. I think I know others that may be too. Yoshiko admitted with a blush. I do feel an attraction but I feel he is still too young for romantic attachments. When he is older I would like to pursue one with him if I can. Haku admitted with a smile and a deep blush. Yoshiko smiled broadly. I have an idea. Haku nodded. If the council attempts to force us to marry and your secret has gotten out, we can push back and have them arrange a marriage for both of us to Naruto-kun. How do you feel about that? Yoshiko proposed. Haku thought for a minute. I think that is a good idea and I would like that. He is kind and would be at least a good husband and that way we could remain friends and we can help Naruto-kun. I can tell he is very lonely and it would be a way to repay Naruto-kun. Haku replied with a smile. Both girls entered the Hokage's tower and made their way to the council chambers. Yoshiko's worries came to a full head when she looked at the frustrated and angry look on Sarutobi's face. Greeting Hokage-sama. The council has summoned both of us. May we inquire what this is about? Yoshiko asked politely. Sarutobi gave the girls a sad smile. Welcome Yoshiko-chan and Haku. The council would like to speak with the both of you. I think I know what they want but I am not sure so I am going to let them speak to you. But please sit and listen to what they have to say. Yoshiko and Haku sat in two empty chairs near Sarutobi at the large conference table. Homura coughed to clear his voice. It is good to see you, Yoshiko-hime. I hope your mother is doing well. Yoshiko pushed down her anger. It is an honor to meet with the esteemed members of the Konoha Council, and as for my mother, I believe she is doing fine. Either that or she is losing a ton of money, and in that case she is as happy as a clam. Yoshiko's comment caused those that knew Tsunade to chuckle. Being that as it is, it has come to our attention that you turned down Sasuke Uchiha's advances. Am I correct in what I heard? Homura asked. Yoshiko smiled. Yep, I turned him down and stuck a kunai into it. Now I am hoping it is deader than a doornail and no healing jutsu will bring it back if I can help it. Again, Yoshiko's antics caused several in the room to chuckle. Why would you do that? He is the last of the Uchiha and you are the last of the Senju. A merger of the founding clans would be beneficial to the village, Homura stated. Beneficial? For whom, might I ask? I do not like the Uchiha, and I especially do not like Sasuke. My family dwindled while theirs prospered and multiplied. My family fought while theirs took sparing missions to increase their store of jutsu and then took cushy positions in the police force. Yoshiko stated as she glared at Homura. Why do you have this animosity towards Sasuke Uchiha? What has he ever done to you? Homura asked. Where do I start? He killed the man I loved, the woman that carried his child, betrayed the village. I could continue, but that was another time. Yoshiko thought to herself. I just don't like him, and another has caught my eye. Homura smiled. I am glad you are taking your duty as heir properly. Would you like to share with the council who this lucky young man is? Nope. Yoshiko replied with a smirk that caused Sarutobi to smirk also. Very well then. It has also been brought to our attention that your guest here has a bloodline trait and is actually a young girl, not the boy she is attempting to convince us she might be. Koharu stated. This caused several gasps in the council chambers. I would like to know where you got this information, Haku questioned. We will not divulge our sources. Do you admit to both having a keke genkai and to being female? Koharu asked. I admit to both, Haku stated as her face contorted in anger. Koharu nodded. Very well, then it will be decided who you will have an arranged marriage to so that you can help provide this village with children with your bloodline. What? Haku demanded as she slammed her hand down on the table. Quiet, child. You have no say in this, Koharu stated. The room's temperature dropped several degrees in seconds as Haku stood facing the council. First thing, you do not dictate who I will or will not marry. Second thing, I am not a member of your village and am currently only guest. If you are planning to abduct me and then have me raped, I will kill each and every one of you right here and now. Afterwards I will leave this village. I have never been a true shinobi and thus have never given my oath to a village. I understand that this village adores keke genkai, but the village council forcing me, a girl with no family, into a family without her consent and then telling me that I have no say the matter for me is grounds for me to kill you where you stand, Haku threatened. Hiyashi smiled and loudly shifted his chair away from Koharu. You young lady could teach my eldest a thing or two. Koharu-san, I believe you have bitten off more than you can chew. Indeed, Haku-chan is under Senju protection. Thus an attack on her is an attack on the family of the first and second Hokages, along with my mother, Tsunade. Do you wish to continue treading upon these waters? Yoshiko threatened. Silence, child, you will respect your elders, Koharu yelled. Yoshiko stood and looked the older woman directly into the eyes. You don't scare me, you old hag. This girl came into this village after a tragic loss and now you want to sell her off to the highest bidding clan to strengthen the village, without any concern for her welfare. What type of evil bastards are you? Yoshiko questioned. We are looking out for the child's best interests, Koharu retorted. Really? And just who did you have in mind? Maybe a certain Uchiha Teme? Yoshiko replied with much venom. Yes, actually that person came to mind along with a couple others, Koharu replied in a kindly elderly manner. Yoshiko sighed and looked at Haku, who shook her head. I have also chosen someone to follow. Koharu smiled warmly. Then we are not worried about you having children soon. Who, may I ask, is the lucky man? Haku shook her head. Children maybe in the future, but I will not have them for a few years now. As for whom my interests lie, I'm not at liberty to reveal who it is. Why do you not share child? Koharu inquired. Because to me, you appear to be pompous old fools trying to run others' lives without any regard for the lives you're attempting to ruin. Haku retorted. Haku looked angrily at Sarutobi, who just shook his head and smirked. Are we done being humiliated here? Haku turned to leave and grabbed Yoshiko's hand in an attempt to leave the room. Two Anbu appeared in front of the door. So I am a prisoner here? If news of this were to get out to the other elemental countries, it would not be good for your village. Koharu stood and walked towards the teen girls. You see, you both posse's powerful Kekkei Genkei, and the village just wants to see them continued. So we take your advice and hope we end up with a man who will care for us, right? Yoshiko asked angrily. Yes, that is it, Koharu stated as she neared the girls. Mother will hear about this, and I assure you that she will just have another thing to be angry at the village for. You killed her family with no regard for what you were doing, Yoshiko retorted. We were at war. Koharu responded in defense. Then why did most of the Senju die during the war and the Uchiha flourished? Yoshiko inquired. That is because they have a powerful bloodline, Koharu replied with a smile. No, it is because they did not have to take the hard missions, they remained here at home for the most part. They are just thieves, they steal when it suits them. Now you want to offer us to their sacrificial altar. We refuse. Do I need to call my mother? I did sign the summoning contract. That is the only reason I was able to come and live in the village, instead of continue my travels with her. Yoshiko commented as her fist went through the table. Koharu sighed as she finally reached the girls. She reached out her arm to touch Haku only to find that Haku's arm was encased in ice. Don't you dare touch me, you old hag. Let us go now, Haku demanded. Yoshiko turned to Sarutobi. Hokage-sama, I do not appreciate the council attempting to abduct us and forcibly rape us. Sarutobi was shocked by the comment. Well, they are not raping you, yet. The part was under his breath. What do you call being forced to have intercourse with a male against our will? Yoshiko pointed out. Well, they have not forced either of you into a marriage contract, Sarutobi retorted. Hokage-sama, bearing children with a man we do not want and before we are ready is rape in my book, Yoshiko stated bluntly. I see your point, Koharu-chan. You are hereby reprimanded for insulting the Senju clan heir and her honored guest. What do you have to say for yourself? Sarutobi asked. Koharu bowed her head. My apologies to both Yoshiko-chan and Haku-chan for my indiscretion, please forgive me, Koharu stated as she gave the bare minimum respect to Yoshiko's clan. Yoshiko's fiery gaze bored down upon Koharu. You are forgiven, but please don't let it happen again. Yoshiko turned to see the Anbu gone from the door. Haku and Yoshiko beat a hasty retreat from the room as shouts began to erupt from the closed door. The girls left the tower to find Sasuke waiting for them with a smirk on his face. So are you ready to move to the Uchiha complex? Sasuke asked with his eyes closed. Thus he missed the angry looks from both Yoshiko and Haku. He also missed seeing the pair of fists that hit him and sent him into a closed building. Bastard, Yoshiko yelled while her fist was still where Sasuke used to be standing. Now shall we go home and discuss what we are going to do for the next 3 weeks? Haku nodded agreement as they left and Sasuke slowly extracted himself from the wall. The next 3 weeks were spent both training and following a certain blonde. There was also an additional member added to the Senju household, Isaribi. She had come to the village stating that she needed healing from the legendary Sannin. The guards directed her to the hospital, but Yoshiko and Haku intercepted her before she arrived at the hospital. Yoshiko took Isaribi aside to discuss the fact that Haku was the other individual that the fox had mentioned. Isaribi was happy to meet Haku and the 3 girls became fast friends. Yoshiko sent a message to Shion with a quick explanation about what was going on. The return message stated that she would be ready when they called upon her. She also was still mourning the loss of her future child. Shion also offered to purify Yoshiko and Naruto at the same time, similar to what she had done before. At the end of the third week, the Chunin exams had hit the village. Yoshiko and Haku had been asked to sit in on the second part of the exam to help the medics with dealing with the injured from the test, and Isaribi had come along to watch with the two other girls. Hinata had not seemed to have yet assimilated her older self as of yet, so they kept her at a distance, not wanting to affect how things played out. The tests continued as they had before, with Sasuke beating the traitor Yoroi. Shino easily defeated Zaku. Kankuro defeated Tsurugi. Sakura and Ino knocked each other out. Temari beat Tenten. Shikamaru beat Kin. Naruto beat Kiba, and Hinata showed her concern for him by giving him a small jar of healing balm yet again. Hinata lost badly to Neji, who earning the ire of Naruto, Yoshiko, Haku, and Isaribi. Naruto had been so moved during the match that he basically took a blood oath to avenge Hinata. Yoshiko was able to repair more damage than the medics had before, and Yoshiko figured she would recover faster this time. Gaara devastated Lee, but Yoshiko was able to assist Lee more quickly than last time. She was able to make sure his injuries were not as severe, and in the final match Dosu knocked Choji for a loop. With the selection of opponents for the third round, the intrepid female trio kept an eye on Naruto from a distance. Yoshiko also kept an eye on both Lee and Hinata at the hospital. Kurenai encountered the trio on their way home from watching Naruto chasing Jiraiya and tricking him into training Naruto. Yoshiko Haim, may I have a word with you? Kurenai asked as Yoshiko nodded. Haku and Isaribi both headed back to the Senju complex. What can I do for you, Kurenai-san? Yoshiko responded. I would like to thank you for your help with Hinata-chan. She is like a daughter to me, Kurenai explained. It was my pleasure. I just hope Naruto-kun can remove that stick that is up Neji's butt, Yoshiko exclaimed. Kurenai chuckled. I also have to ask you what your intentions are towards Naruto. I have watched you three follow him on several occasions. Yoshiko blushed. I already know that Hinata-san likes Naruto-kun. I was just waiting for a time where I could discuss it with Hinata-san. I know she is incurably shy. I assure you I will not move on Naruto-kun without talking with Hinata-san. She could even join us in following Naruto-kun. It is great for increasing stealth and stamina when trying to keep up with him. At times he can push your stamina to its limits. Then I am to understand that the heir to both the Hyuga and the Senju both are after the same kid? Kurenai asked with a slight smile. Yoshiko nodded with a large smile. Yep, you got it. Heck, if we actually catch him we might as well share. He does know the shadow clone jutsu, by the way. Kurenai blushed at the implications of Yoshiko's statement. You are already planning a life with him? He is only 12? So, I am only 14, as is Haku-chan. Isaribi-chan and Hinata-chan are both also 12. I say we can share. If we also split the bills he will not go broke taking all of us out on dates, Yoshiko said with a smirk. Kurenai's jaw dropped. Here the heir to the Senju clan had just expressed the same desire to be with Naruto that Hinata had also implied her affection toward the blonde several months earlier. If you girls actually do catch him, what do you plan on doing? Kurenai asked, not sure if she wanted to know the answer. Let me think. Yoshiko took a thinking pose. Well, for the first thing I want Naruto-kun to help me rebuild the Senju clan. Yoshiko smirked as Kurenai's jaw again dropped. Just kidding, that is for much later. I know for sure that Haku-chan and Isaribi-chan both want to help Naruto-kun re-establish the Uzumaki clan. With Naruto-kun at the head of both clans we could help make sure he became the Hokage. With Hinata-chan we would then have the Hyuga backing him also. Yoshiko happily answered. Kurenai was surprised at the thought-out ending that Yoshiko had come up with. When are you girls going to pursue Naruto? Yoshiko smirked. Who says we are not pursuing him now? When Kurenai's jaw again dropped, Yoshiko laughed. We have agreed not to bother Naruto-kun until after the Chunin exams. If Hinata-chan wishes to pursue him also, we welcome her. Kurenai-san, we are not rabid fangirls like those that pursue the Uchiha. We admire and deeply respect Naruto-kun for what he is and what he stands for. You can rest easy for Hinata-chan because I intend to go ask for my mother's permission to pursue Naruto-kun after the Chunin exams. I also have to have a discussion with a certain pervert. Yoshiko looked a little annoyed at that subject. Kurenai looked at Yoshiko and scrutinized her answers. Which pervert are you referring to? Jiraiya, of course. I have a personal matter to discuss with that old fart, but it can wait until he is done training Naruto-kun. I would also like to ask you a favor if I could. Yoshiko posed turned to desperation. I am afraid the council will try to make it so that Naruto-kun can't marry anyone. This would devastate our entire group. Can you talk to the Hokage-sama about making sure the council does not pull a fast one on Naruto-kun? I am also worried that they may also not allow him to become Chunin even if he turns out to be qualified. I would marry him no matter what, even if I had to drag him off to the fire daimyo myself to do the ceremony. Yoshiko stated with a smile. You really do like him that much? Kurenai honestly asked. Yes, and more. Yoshiko insisted with a blush. Then why are you willing to share him? Kurenai interrogated. Naruto-kun is special. He also needs more attention than I am able to give. I have observed over time that he needs connections and I want to give him one with me, as do the other girls. I do not want to deny those that have genuine feelings to be with him. I have also observed how he has been treated and I am appalled by it. The way they treat him is like he either has the plague or he has done something unforgivable, and that is just not right. He is bright, cheery, and has a great attitude. There is also more to him than meets the eye. Yoshiko stated almost as if she knew something that others might not. Kurenai put up her hands in surrender. Okay, you win. I will talk to the Hokage about what the council might do. Do you want me to talk to Hinata-chan? No, she has seen us. She will either come to us on her own or end up competing with us. Either way, it is a win-win for all of us. I do think she will eventually come to us and we can then talk about our mutual affection towards a certain blonde. If she is willing to share, then there is no problem. Heck, it might even help her with her confidence, Yoshiko remarked. Kurenai bowed her head. As you wish, Yoshiko-hime. I will talk to the Hokage about Naruto and leave the matter of Hinata-chan up to you. Kurenai left in a swirl of leaves. Yoshiko continued home and opened the gate to find Danzo standing at her front door. She began to grimace. Danzo-san, to what do I owe the pleasure? You will refer to me as Sama when addressing me, Danzo stated. Nope, Mom won't do it, so I won't, Yoshiko refuted. So what do you want? Danzo looked at her with his unbandaged eye. I find it odd the two most eligible females in Konoha under the same roof and neither is pursuing the most eligible bachelor. I have come on behalf of Sasuke Uchiha to ask for your hand in marriage. He has already sent the request on to the fire daimyo. Here is our one-word answer, no, Haku stated as she opened the door. Let me make this easy for you, Danzo, Sama. No, hell no. No way in hell am I going to marry that brat. Sasuke Uchiha. If the Senju and the Uchiha ever join, it will not be in my generation. If Sasuke finds a willing victim to produce his offspring, then they may try to court my children, but until then he will not have me or my clan, Yoshiko declared. Guess he didn't get it when we punched him into the store wall the first time. Either that or he likes to be abused, Haku teased. Maybe if I join his fan club he will leave me alone, Yoshiko teased. Nah, he would expect you to take his offer then, Haku rebutted with a chuckle. It would be a great thing for the village to have the two founding families become one. And if they could produce a dual bloodline, then it would be all the better, Danzo declared. Get out of here before I use your cane to break your good arm and leg, Yoshiko warned. Danzo lowered his head and walked away as he shook his head. So what are you going to do about the letter to the daimyo? Haku asked as the both entered the spacious home. Yoshiko grinned similar to Naruto when he was up to something. I already sent a letter to him stating that if the Uchiha attempted to force a marriage with either of us I would start a clan war and kill Sasuke. Ouch, you know how to hit him where it hurts. You know you would have help in the war, right? Haku inquired. I was counting on both of you to help me smear him across the mountain. We would take turns. Yoshiko smirked. I would also have a secondary plan if the daimyo agreed with the council and Sasuke Teme. Isaribi entered the room with a grin on her face. And what would that be, Haim? Sorry, can't tell, it's an S-ranked secret. Anyway, I hope Hinata-chan gives her inspirational speech to Naruto-kun at the end of the month. It would be bad if Neji were to actually beat him. Yoshiko contemplated as she sat down on the couch. After dinner, Haku went up to bed, but Yoshiko and Isaribi both stayed downstairs and talked. So why do you get the new body? Isaribi asked. Yoshiko smiled. Well, how would it look if a 50-year-old woman came back to a village she said she would never return to just to shack up with a 12-year-old? Isaribi cringed at the thought. You do have a point, but that isn't your body, is it? Yoshiko pondered the question for a moment. Yes and no, I am both Yoshiko and Tsunade from our original timeline. Yoshiko was the child I had miscarried during that timeline. Isaribi looked apologetically at Yoshiko. Sorry. I do know that my birth did straighten out Mom a little. She is still the same enough that if she meets him the reaction will be the same. We just need to keep things going as they are. My worry is that Naruto-kun will actually die this time when he goes up against Kabuto. Thus the reason we are leaving him alone for now. Yoshiko then grinned again. We get him when he gets back. Isaribi's face turned bright red. No, not that way. We are still too young. How's your training going? Haku-chan has got me up to speed with basic jutsu and the weapons. I am still having a hard time with the studies, sorry, Isaribi responded. I am not even sure we want to become shinobi. Heck, we could have Naruto-kun retire and have him hit all the gambling halls, cleaning them all out. Yoshiko jested. What about Akatsuki? Not a problem until he comes back from his training trip with Jiraiya. We also want to make sure that he befriends Gaara of the desert. We might also want to contact the Fuma clan and attempt to sway Sasama to bring the Fuma clan here. Yoshiko commented. Do we have to? That will take months more for us to wait for Naruto-kun, Isaribi complained. I don't like it myself. According to Naruto-kun and Sakura Teme, Naruto-kun nearly died on that mission too. I am not sure how I would like for us to deal with it. If we let Sasuke go and work on patching him up after he returns from that mission, he should be truly ready for some companionship then. Also, there are several missions I do want him to go on. Tea and snow both need to happen so we have stronger allies. We could help him on the mission to the land of vegetables. We are training, but I don't think Mom wants me to become a shinobi, Yoshiko stated. Do we have to share him with Sasama? What about Haruna from vegetables? How many women will we have to share him with? Isaribi again whined. Yoshiko sighed. Okay, we can all confront him after he gets back from going to the land of rice. Then we will tear down Sakura's hold upon him. Okay, let me get this clear. We have you, Haku, Hinata, Yakumo, Shion and me for starters. That makes 6. We might add Sasama, Haruna, Amaru and possibly Koyuki. Am I missing anybody? Isaribi stated as her head began to spin. Yoshiko grinned. Well, if he ends up with that many women I am sure Anko would want to join in. Shizune might not be too bad as long as mother doesn't want to give me a sibling with our future husband. That could make things difficult. Yoshiko replied as her head also began to hurt. Oh, and what if the pink banshee wants to join because her precious Sasuke has left? Isaribi exclaimed with a deep sigh. Yoshiko then beamed. Then I initiate Operation Naruto Gala Marriage Round Robin. As first wife I decide who he can marry and who he can't. Haku appeared next to the girls. This caused them both to jump. What is this you have been talking about marriage and other women? Yoshiko sighed. Okay, since you are part of this whole wanting to be special to Naruto-kun, in for a shoe in for a Ryo. There are a few things we need to tell you. Haku looked shrewdly at the other girls. Okay, first, what we are about to tell you is the truth. Yoshiko paused as she waited for Haku to acknowledge her point, to which Haku nodded. We are partially from an alternate future. Haku's face became skewered and contorted. That is a new one. Now we're getting to the confusing part. Yoshiko again waited for Haku to nod acknowledgement. Both Isaribi and I have merged spirits. I know I am going to regret this, but what does that mean? Haku questioned. Let me tell you a story. Yoshiko began as Haku nodded. There was a blonde-haired boy who traveled to the Wave Country and met a couple of people he found to be special to him. One was named Haku, the other was named Zabuza. I'm following so far, but I already know this story, Haku stated. No, you don't. Haku, in my spirits past you and Zabuza died at the bridge. I was also never born, at least not in this body. It was never born, and it was miscarried over 14 years ago. Haku looked shocked as Yoshiko continued. Naruto was a class A idiot, a lovable one but an idiot. That part of my spirit was Tsunade Senju, my current mother. Naruto had convinced me to come back to Konoha to become Hokage so that he could eventually become Hokage. He went on several missions, got hurt a lot, made lots of friends and was just himself. Eventually he met Shien and saved the world from a demon. She asked him to father a child with her. Naruto-kun being himself didn't know what he had agreed to. Haku's jaw continued to fall further as the story continued. After some schooling in the birds and the bees, Naruto-kun went to Shien and they produced a new life. That gets me to the sad part. Shien was about 6 months along when Naruto fought a man named Madara Uchiha. This laid him up in bed for more than a month. Yoshiko began to cry as she continued. Yakumo Kurama, who you haven't met yet, Hinata Hyuga, Isaribi and myself were arguing on the finer points of who wanted Naruto-kun for their groom, but that was never destined to happen. The council had forbid him to marry anyone just before I had returned to take up the mantle of Hokage. Yoshiko stopped as she began to sob uncontrollably. Isaribi wrapped Yoshiko into a gentle hug. Haku noticed tears also streaming from Isaribi's eyes, but she also saw anger and hatred in them. You seen Sakura Teme help Sasuke Teme to kill Naruto-kun, Shien-chan, and their unborn baby. Naruto's last act alive was to release the Kyuubi upon Sasuke and Sakura. Haku began to cry at this point. You see, Sasuke had told the village Naruto-kun's secret. He also proclaimed that by killing Naruto he was saving the village from the Kyuubi and any possible offspring he was going to have. The Kyuubi appeared and told a different tale where the Uchiha were going to betray the village. The Kyuubi went on a selective rampage, as it killed all those who had ever hurt Naruto-kun. Yoshiko had composed herself to a certain extent. The Kyuubi offered us a choice to either let him die right there or we could get Naruto-kun back. Being selfish, we took the deal to get Naruto-kun back. I don't get it, there must have been a cost to bringing you back, Haku pointed out. You see, Kyuubi didn't want to die and the Shinigami offered all of us the deal. You see, the Kyuubi was to give up most of its power and we gave a small portion of our souls for this. In return we were taken back in time and put into our own bodies, well, except for me. I was put into my unborn child that I had miscarried. Part of my soul powered life for me to have enough strength. There was also another catch. I also became a Jinchuriki like Naruto-kun. I hold the baby kid of the Kyuubi within me. This was enough for me to survive and be born. It also helped pull my bloodline to the surface. My mother and Auntie Shizune noticed the seal on my stomach when I was born. Jiraiya checked it out after Naruto-kun had the Kyuubi sealed within him. Thanks to the Tsunade partial soul and the fox kid in me, I know quite a bit. Like my father is Jiraiya, he is also Naruto-kun's godfather. Dad's comment on my seal, this one is better than Minato's by a long shot. I also know that if Naruto-kun dies, then all of us die, Isaribi, Hinata, Yakumo, Shien and I. We are tied to him by a bond from the Shinigami. I don't know if you are linked to or not Haku-chan, but the Shinigami wanted you to join us with Naruto-kun. The Kyuubi wants for Naruto kill Sasuke but is being patient. I figure about 3 days before the Chunin exams Naruto-kun will contact the Kyuubi and be able to access that power directly. Yoshiko took a deep breath as she continued to try to compose herself to no avail. So you love him and are tied to him by fate? Haku asked. Yes, and no, the only fate we have to worry about is that we do not upset the timeline too much or we do not know what will happen. Also I must be Naruto-kun's first mate or again we all die. Yoshiko added. Why? Isaribi growled in disappointment. I don't know, that's just the message I received from both Aki and Kyuubi. I believe it will help with the purification process Shien will perform on us when she gets her turn with Naruto-kun. My guess is that I need to be present at that time. Yoshiko added. So you get firsts and a double team? Not fair. Isaribi huffed in mock pouting. Haku chuckled lightly, catching the attention of the arguing girls. What? Both asked in unison. Well, if what I believe is true about the shadow clones. Haku left a pregnant pause, as both girls moved closer as if that would cause Haku to talk. Yoshino could have firsts, and then we all could have seconds. Haku stated as she bit her nail in a seductive pose and blushed profusely. Both girls fell back on the couch with stupid grins on their faces. Why didn't we think about that? Yoshiko added, nearly wanting to kick herself. Oh, I also wanted to tell you both the reason why I have been having you both train so hard. The day of the Chunin exam finals, Sound and Sand villages will be invading. I can summon slugs and Naruto-kun will be able to summon toads, specifically Gamabunta and Gamakichi on that day. We can approach Naruto-kun after he gets back from his mission to find the Sound village in Rice Country. I will work with Aunt Shizune to make sure he goes on the right missions. After that mission we can work on attempting to date him. He might be at first resistant to it, but we will be able to wear him down. The big problem is getting my mother to agree to the marriages. I know I want to have children, as does Hinata-chan and you girls, along with Yakumo and Shien. The others will have to wait until he is 17. I do have more information, but I don't think they are ready for it. Yoshiko thought to herself. You are right, Kit. How are my child and my container's first mate doing? Kyuubi's voice echoed in her mind. Fine, Yoshiko-chan has some neat dreams. Aki commented as Yoshiko blushed profusely and huffed mentally. My Kit has informed me of your plan and I agree with it. I will do everything I can to make sure it happens. I will attempt to steer him to the training grounds on exam day. You just make sure Hinata is there. Also I say you try to accompany them on the mission to Rice so you can help the girl who tried to kill Naruto-kun with the chakra strings. Kyuubi ordered kindly. Again, why are you guys being so nice? I thought you were demons, Yoshiko inquired. Kyuubi chuckled. It is in our best interests to be nice, and you have the Shinigami on your side. So being nice is basically a requirement. Also that person will help sway the Fuma clan along with having Sasama married to Naruto-kun. Yoshiko's only response was, oh. Yoshiko's eyes returned to normal as they had been glazed over for a couple minutes. Are you okay, Yoshiko-chan? Haku asked with a worried look. Yeah, I was just talking to Aki and Kyuubi. Guess I now know what it is like to be Naruto-kun. At least somewhat now, Yoshiko replied. So, how long until we can get together with Naruto-kun? Haku quipped. His birthday is after the Chunin exams. If he does the mission to Rice like he did, he will return a couple days before his birthday and we can help him celebrate and ignore the festival here in the village. I also figure Hinata will be merged by then, as Yakumo will also have done so. We can invite all those that are not outside of the village. If the timeline keeps true, we will see Sasuke in the hospital, injured from Itachi. Mom will come and heal him. Naruto will realize that his chances with Sakura are very low. We can talk to him then to help cheer him up. No official dates until after he gets back from Rice. Agreed? Yoshiko asked, almost yearning for the others to argue with her logic. Also, I will have my mother send us, at least the three of us, to possibly recover a dying member of the Fuma clan so that they will be more inclined to come to Konoha. The girls decided to end it there as Yoshiko and Haku had rounds at the hospital the next day. The days before the exam passed quickly. The council didn't bother the girls at all during this time. Kunoichi did visit to inform Yoshiko that Hinata had a message for her. Things going as scheduled. She will meet him on time and make the needed contact. There was also a message from the Hokage that stated, Naruto will be free to marry if he likes and the council will not interfere. This pleased the girls to no end. Training and work kept them busy. The day of the Chunin exams came and the girls attempted to follow Naruto but lost him when he ducked into an alleyway with Konohamaru. The girls then went home and got all the weapons they could equip on themselves without attracting too much attention. Haku also brought along several water bottles as extra ammo. They made it to the arena to find that everything had gone as expected. They found Hinata sitting next to Kiba, although she looked a little pale. As they passed, she nodded to them, acknowledging that she had played her part in inspiring Naruto before he had arrived. The girls found seats in the area between Hinata and Sakura, wanting to keep an eye on the pink-haired girl. The first match was announced as being between Naruto Uzumaki and Neji Hyuga. Everyone left the arena for the observation area, except for Sasuke, who had not arrived yet. Neji began to berate Naruto about fate. Naruto's answer was to just show his fist, as he did after the fight Neji had with Hinata. The match looked like Naruto was outmatched the Hyuga genius. Both showed great skill, Naruto using his shadow clones and Neji using advanced Juken techniques. Eventually Neji had closed all of Naruto's chakra points and proclaimed his victory. Naruto then surprised everyone with reopening his chakra points with the help of Kyuubi's chakra. Naruto then began to use this power to even the playing field with Neji. Eventually Naruto and Neji collided, and this left Neji digging himself out the ground and Naruto leaving a clone as bait for Neji to gloat over. Naruto had ambushed Neji from underground and won his match to the excitement of the crowd. Hinata had shown a link with Naruto when he was injured and was taken to the upper seats and healed by Kabuto. Kiba delivered her to the hospital and returned only to be knocked out. Sasuke had been given more time to arrive, as Shikamaru had nearly beaten Temari only to give up after Kankuro forfeited his match against Shino. Sasuke was given an additional 10 minutes for he still had not arrived yet.
All of the girls were appalled that Sasuke had been given several chances to show up but still had not arrived yet.
Right at the last second, Sasuke and Kakashi showed up, impressing some but pissing off others, especially the girls.
Soon after the fight began, Lee arrived to show that he was actually feeling better. Yoshiko knew he would still need major surgery, but it would not be as hard as it was when she had healed him before. Lee seemed disturbed by Sasuke's match, as he showed off that he has stolen Lee's moves and now could use them with similar proficiency as Lee. Yoshiko and Lee noticed that Sasuke lacked the endurance that Lee had and had to revert to using the Chidori to attack and injure Gaara.
This was the turning point, as a genjutsu was cast upon the arena. All three girls broke the genjutsu for themselves and proceeded to sneak over by Naruto. Kakashi gave an order for Sakura to wake Naruto and Shikamaru to go after Sasuke, who had chased after Gaara and his siblings. Yoshiko took one sad look at the roof of the building that Sarutobi and the Kazekage, actually Orochimaru, as the building became surrounded by a black barrier. A tear fell from her eye as she said goodbye to her former sensei and Hokage. The three girls snuck out of the arena in pursuit of